Okay, welcome to Soil Data Access Video 3. I've turned down my radio. I've increased some of the font sizes on the pages, so we should be good to go here. Let's continue on building this SQL. So the next thing you know in the schema is we've covered the legend, we've covered the map unit, and the next thing is going to be the component table. So I'm going to go back over to my tables and columns report. I've got it so that you can actually read it on the screen now. And we're going to come up to the component table. I could have done a search, but this is just as quick. There's a lot of columns in this table, but a couple of things that we want to take a look at is we're going to want the component name and we're going to want the component percentage. And all of you are aware that when you populate the database, you're populating a low, an RV, and a high. You need to be aware of that. And we've got the major component, and there's a whole bunch of items in here, and you can pick and choose whichever ones you want to display on the screen. I'm only going to pick a few that just makes sense for this particular video series. So I know I'm going to need the major comp flag, the comp name, and the comp percentage. I'm going to come back over and go into my query parameter, and I'm going to say I got my map unit name. I'm going to put it in a comma. I'm going to put it in a space. I'm going to say comp name, comma, space, comp percent underscore R, because I want the RV value, and then I'm going to put in major comp flag. So I've added my additional 3 columns. You can add whichever ones you prefer. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to be pulling this from the component table. Alright, you already know by default you can do an inner join, and this means that every map unit that has a component is going to be extracted and put into this report, one-to-one relationship. On map unit, this is where this relationship guide comes in. I'm going to go back to the relationship guide, confirm that between map unit and component we have the MU key column. So map unit dot the MU key is equal to component period MU key. It is critical you spell things correctly. So I've created my query. I've included the component table. I've added those particular fields in the component that I want to run, and I'm going to submit my query. It's going to remain as an immediate. And now I've got, oh, something's wrong here. I've got it ordered by the map unit name, but you'll notice that the 95 comes out second, and the major comp flag is yes as second. That's not what I want. I want this to be so that I have the map unit name, and then I want the comp percent underscore R. Now if I left it at this, it would run the query just as you saw a second ago. Basically 3, 7, 90, 10, 90, 5, 40, 40, 55. They're ascending order. I want this in a descending order. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say DESC. This is going to assign as a descending order. And then I'll run my query again. Now I have 95 and 5, 97 and 4 with the major component flag identified. Notice the major component flag is typed out as YES. Now I'm beginning to get some information here that I can actually use in a query. So I want to be able to look at, I can add any columns I want. I can come in here and do a slope underscore L. I can do a slope underscore high. I can now go through the tables and columns report, looking at the component table, and I can pick and choose whichever ones I want. And I can also go in here and I can say where the area symbol is like NE079, and I'm going to add another clause. Major comp flag equals yes. I'm going to run this one. And now you'll notice that I've got all the comp flags, major comp flags of yes. I don't have any no's in here. I've got their slope groups, and I've got the comp percentages for every one of these major components. So the question is, why, Paul, did you use equal instead of like? You used like over here and equals over here. It all depends on the value that you're using and the comparison operator that you can use with that particular field. I could come in here and I could change this to an equals also, and it would still do the same thing, equals and like. But equals is specific, and you have to realize that it's looking for a literal set of information from the database. The like allows a little bit of flexibility. What flexibility does it allow? Let me show you. I can come in here and I can say like, and I can change this to a wildcard. I can say like NE079. I can change that to a %. For like, the wildcard character for a string is the %. This, if I did this, would run the entire set of Mapunits and components that are major components in Nebraska. I don't really want to take the time to run that. You can do that on your own. Now, that walks you through the fact that we've done the legend, we've done the map unit, and we've done the component. Of course, then logically the next step would be to go into the horizon table, right? So let's do an inner join on, and what was the name of that? We got to go back and look at the correct name. The correct name for the component to the horizon is C horizon. So we're going to do an inner join on C horizon on component dot, it's the co-key that links them, co-key equals C horizon dot co-key. Now, what columns do I want? Now let's come back over here, tables and columns report, and oddly enough, C horizon is up here, and we can then take a look at what columns do we want. And you notice there's a tremendous number of columns. We're going to be doing a lot of work with these columns in future videos, but for right now, let's go ahead and pull the HZ name and then the top depth and the bottom depth, just so we can look at what's available to us, because I want to show you something else. So we're going to say HZ name, HZDEPT underscore R, and then HZDEPB underscore R. So I've included legends, map units, component, and C horizon table. I have limited it to only Hall County, Nebraska with major components. I'm sorting by the map unit name and the component description, and we'll probably end up doing another sort here as soon as we take a look at the results. Notice that for some odd reason I've got on ALDA a 2C1, 2C2, 2CG, AC, A1, A2. Now obviously something's not right here. So let's come back over and let's add another sort column. And this time let's do a sort. Remember what I told you about the default sort is ascending. I don't want to do a descending sort on the horizon name. I want to do a descending, an ascending sort. And so here we go. Now we've got the AP 0 to 15, 15 to 41, 41 to 51. And we've now gone even further into this SQL by bringing in not only the legend information and not only the legend and the map unit information, but we've also included the component information and the horizon information too. So that wraps up this video. All we're doing is a select area symbol, area name, map unit symbol, map unit name, component percentage, all along. From these 4 tables, we've put in two conditions, and we've put in several different sorts. That wraps up this video, and we'll continue this on here in a little bit as we move on into and discuss more about joins and columns. That ends this video.